Is this better than writing on paper? What's going on, guys? My name is Dan Davis, and today I've got my full review of the reMarkable Paper Pro. Now, I've had my eyes on the reMarkable range for quite some time now. I love their whole approach, the fact that they release a product and then they have huge aftermarket care. They keep adding to the product. They don't pump out a product every year, right? They're quite thorough in their releases. And so when I saw the Paper Pro announced, it definitely piqued my interest. I was on the fence for a little while. They're not the cheapest e-ink tablet, but reMarkable have definitely carved a space, a luxury e-ink space. And I just love what they did with the Paper Pro. So I've now been using it for a couple of months, and these are all of my thoughts. These are all of my thorough thoughts after using this daily for 2 months. I've been journaling every single day. My partner wrote a 47-page ebook entirely on this, and we converted it to text. I've been using it for all sorts of things, to plan out my videos, to plan out like business plans with my counseling business, all sorts of stuff. I feel like I've got a great understanding now of what this e-ink device is all about and who this is for. This is the first time that reMarkable have released a color e-ink device, and the colors are stunning. They really do pop out. You've got so many different options in here. And I love the fact that it's a large display. That was another big thing that made me want to go for the Paper Pro. An 11.8-inch display is phenomenal, right? You want to make sure you've got as much real estate as possible when you're writing. And the fact that the colors pop and they really do stand out has made a huge difference. Like when I'm planning things out, this was me planning out a YouTube video not long ago. I'm just able to highlight certain things in colors. I'm able to circle things and really make it pop. And I find myself very impressed with how they've integrated color here. Even when you're downloading a template, maybe it's like a worksheet or something, if that's a color worksheet, it's going to display on the device as well. I will say though that some of the colors from the worksheets don't pop out completely. So for example, this is meant to be a blue bannered kind of worksheet. It looks fine. But then you go to the green, which is extremely vibrant on my desktop computer, and you look here and it's a bit of a dull green. So sometimes things don't translate perfectly. There are some premium templates that you can get out there that will add even more to the experience. But the fact that I can just have a template and I can have a really pretty colorful template and then just grab the pen off and start writing over that template definitely does make the world of difference for a lot of different people, right? When you think about like meal prepping or, planning out your finances, planning out your structure for the day, journaling about certain things. There are just limitless options out there when it comes to worksheets and templates that you can download. There are 9 different writing tools that have their own unique feel to them, and there's multiple templates available through the built-in software. There's also an adjustable reading light, so you can have a light on when you're writing in bed or in low light. Maybe you just want to write at the table, but you don't want to have any lights on. You can turn on that reading light, and you can also turn it completely off if you're working in direct sunlight or maybe in an area where you don't need that light. My partner and I have used the Paper Pro in so many different scenarios, right? We've been writing in bed, on a couch, out at a cafe, at a library, on a picnic blanket, everywhere, right? All sorts of scenarios, and we've thoroughly tested it to see what that experience has been like. Now, one thing to keep in mind is I've noticed that you do get the overheating warning quite frequently if you're using it out and about, and that's without direct sunlight. So the device doesn't feel hot to the touch, but it will pop up with a warning sometimes saying that it's a high temperature. You will notice a bit of heat. So even if you're resting on the device, you can still feel a bit of that heat in your palm. So that's just something to be aware of because it's maybe not the ideal writing situation. You can continue to write on it, but you do start to notice that heat, which kind of takes away from the immersion of feeling like you're writing on paper. It just feels like you're writing on any other device at that point when you've got something that's heating up your hand a little bit, but nothing catastrophic, right? Like we could still write in any scenario and it was perfectly fine, but we found that we were prioritizing using it at home. So at a desk, at the table, in bed, for example, that's where we've found ourselves using it the most. Now it works perfectly fine, like I said, in all sorts of scenarios. You do have that backlight, you can write it in low light, and you can use it in all sorts of situations. I love the fact that over time I started to build confidence. So when you're using the marker itself. At first, you're kind of writing quite gently. Maybe you don't put too much pressure on the device when you're writing on it. But over time, I felt really confident, and I've noticed that my handwriting has significantly improved. Like I said, I've been journaling every single day. I plan out my videos on it. I actually put pressure on the device now. I lean on it. I write on it with a bit of pressure, and I'm very confident. This is a sturdy piece of hardware. I absolutely love the design. It's beautifully designed, super elegant. I love just the snap of the pen as it clicks into place. The marker off to the side there gives you a little icon to let you know it's charging. Very simple, right? And that's where I think this really stands out. The fact that it's got their own OS, so it's their own operating system. It's super minimal. You can't multitask. You're getting no apps on here or anything like that. It's purely just a writing experience. And so you look at the price tag and you probably think, yeah, it's way too expensive for what you're getting. And I'm still kind of on that fence. It's a very expensive device to write with, but it is the essence. It's the true experience of writing on paper, but in a digital format. And that came to life beautifully when my partner finished her ebook entirely on there. So it was nearly 9,000 words that she hand wrote. She loves writing. So she was like, I'm going to do this instead of the digital version. We wrote everything out, or she wrote everything out on the device, and then we used the quick convert to text, and it converted everything to text that we could then just send to ourselves. And it's pretty accurate. Obviously, we had to go through and change some of the formatting. We had to change certain things that didn't translate properly or convert properly. But for the most part, it did a fantastic job of converting 9,000 words. It didn't take too long to do that as well, into written words that I could then just send to myself. That to me was really cool to see, because that was one of the main reasons we got it. We wanted to set up that ebook for my partner. She really wanted to write it out manually. And the fact that she got that whole experience from pen to paper, as such, to reMarkable Paper Pro, and then to have that converted and then created into an ebook from that was just amazing to see, because that's kind of what it's all about, right? That's the full experience of reMarkable Paper Pro, is that true paper experience. Battery life is phenomenal. They say 14 days of regular use and up to 90 days on standby. And then you can also integrate with Google Drive. You've got Microsoft OneDrive and Dropbox integration as well. There's a lot of different ways of organizing. There's folders and tags, and there's even a search option as well. So simplified, but it's got everything you need in there. And it truly is a distraction-free device. That's what they're going for here. Like I said, there's no notifications, there's no pinging, there's no option to multitask. Straight when you're in, right? And that's what's so awesome about it. The fact that I can just sit and focus 100% is phenomenal. If I'm doing something on my computer, I'm getting distracted. There's no way I'm doing something perfectly without any distractions. If I'm on my phone, I'm definitely getting distractions. There's notifications popping up all the time. So this is something so different. It's such a unique experience. And so far, I've loved that. I've loved the fact that it's really encouraged me to journal. I love the fact that I can plan out my business on here, and it's just more headspace, right? There's less clutter, less distraction, and I've loved that. That's been the true experience that I've been loving. Now, in terms of the colors and the fact that you can highlight in different colors, you can write in different colors, there's all sorts of different pens as well. That's all phenomenal. One thing I noticed though is that I leaned majority into just using a black colored pen. It's quite interesting. Like, I use the color to highlight certain things, and I use color to maybe emphasize words. But what actually happens is when you're writing in color, it seems to refresh a little bit more abruptly, right? A little bit more intrusively. So for me, that took away a little bit of that true connection with writing, because there's a lot of refreshing. As you're writing in color, it kind of goes to a grayscale and then it pops in, and straight when you lift your pen up for a bit, it will then refresh. So if you're writing something out, it will refresh quite regularly. And to me, that just takes a little bit away from the experience. It feels like a digital device at that point. It doesn't feel like I'm writing fully on paper. Majority of the time you get used to it and it's completely fine. But like I said, I find myself actually leaning more into just using the black ink a lot of the times, and that does a great job. The highlighting is great. I really love that, just to make things pop a little bit more. So you got the black text and then you highlight in a color to really make it pop out. I love the fact that it's so minimal, even in the settings. There's nothing to it. It's just the most basic experience when it comes to the settings, which for me is so unique because I'm used to things that have hundreds of menus, all sorts of different customizable settings. Like when you look at drones, there's menu on menu on menu, right? I literally do tips and settings videos just to showcase that. But this is so simple. It's actually just so refreshing to have a minimal experience. You can use their app, which works fine. It's nothing phenomenal Like you can't go on there and type out a bunch of stuff and then it comes across to the tablet, you write and then go back. It's not seamless in that way. I don't know what's missing about that experience, but you can view files perfectly fine. You can put PDFs onto the app that will then come across to the tablet. The app's kind of a weird one in my opinion. It doesn't really do enough. I feel like it should just have so much more to it. I mean, they could literally give you the option to turn your phone sideways and then you can write with your finger to add handwritten notes. And then you can flip it back and start typing out, and then you go across to the device and then start writing again. I'd love it to be seamless where it just goes from, you know, the app to the device, app to the device. So you got the Paper Pro, then you go to your phone. That would be phenomenal, but for the most part, the app works as just a viewer. You just go on there and view what you've got on there. You can go through and customize a few basic things. That's actually how you put PDFs and worksheets onto the Paper Pro. You just put it onto the app and then it syncs across into the actual device itself. So that works perfectly fine, but I would like to see more. I feel like there definitely could be more to it. Like I said, flip the phone, have the option to handwrite a few things out, and then you flip it back and then you have a keyboard to type out. It just makes more sense to me. But anyway, so that's a little bit limited in that regard. I would love to see more there. And then when it comes to the cloud service, that was something that I was on the fence about. I was looking at all the other e-ink tablets out there. I nearly went for something completely different before I got the Paper Pro. And what actually was putting me off the Paper Pro was it seems like you had to have a cloud service, right? You had to have a cloud subscription to be able to use this device. Now, that hasn't been the case at all. I haven't even got myself the Cloud Connect at this stage. It's something I potentially would be open to because it's not too expensive. It opens up so many options through the app and through your desktop as well. There's like a cloud-based software that you would have on your desktop. So that looks really cool. I'm very keen on that. But at this stage, like I said, my partner and I have literally been writing every day for a couple of months now. She's written an entire ebook, I journal every day. There's all sorts of stuff on this. We've only used 0.62 gigabytes of 46.32 gigabytes. Yeah, we haven't even used 1 gig and it's perfectly fine. So at some point, if I use this for years, I might have to get that service. But at the time of me doing this, I'm happy with it. And I'm really glad that I didn't actually have to get that because that was the thing that was stopping me from going straight into the Paper Pro. Another little side note here. So I did get myself the official reMarkable book folio, and you've probably noticed that it's already got a mark on it, my partner's lipstick. And on the back, it's a little bit dirty as well. This to me is an odd material to go for because it just absorbs any stain. Like this is going to be in a laptop bag, right? This is going to be in your purse. This is going to be in a backpack or in many other variations of bags when you're traveling and exploring. And the fact that this just absorbs is bizarre to me, right? We've got a stain on here that we cannot get off with stain remover. On the back, it's got some dirty marks there. This is not cheap at all. It looks amazing when it's on. It's a really awesome design and concept, really simple. So like the reMarkable Paper Pro literally has 4 magnets on the back, or 4 little feet that connect up magnetically, and then that's in place like so, folds over, and then you have the little connecting piece there that wraps around to hold the pen into place. Feels great when it's like that, but to me it's an odd material. You can see all the dirt on it, and this is a gray design, right? So to me, that is an odd one. I actually got myself a third-party one, which is more of a leather design, and to me that makes more sense because it's just going to come off. Any liquid is just going to come off. Any stain should be a lot easier to get off a glossy leather design like that. So I went for a third-party one. Exact same concept with the 4 little feet, and then you still have that little connection piece that holds it all together. So that's just something to be aware of. Again, this was something I was on the fence about. I'm like, I was worried because I've seen a few reviews out there of people talking about the magnets in third-party cases, and they've said that can damage the screen, that can cause issues. So I went for literally a replica of it in a third party. So it's got all the same magnet placement, and that one is my primary now. I don't use this one anymore. This is the one that we're going to take if we go out and about and we don't care about getting it dirty. This is our backup one now, but this shouldn't be the backup one for the price point that you're buying this at. So far for me, I would recommend something like this, a third-party one that has a same or similar design to the book folio. If you are interested in the reMarkable Paper Pro, or maybe one of the cases I've shown today, then check the links in the description below. I will have some links for the Paper Pro down there, both on Amazon and on their official website, so check those out and let me know what you think. If you're going to grab one, I would love your thoughts in the comments below. Any questions you've got, any specific questions, like I said, I've been using this for a while now, so let me know and I will help you out down in the comments below. So with all of that being said, and my final thoughts on the reMarkable Paper Pro, I've loved it. I really have loved it. Like the price point is something very hard to swallow. It's a hard pill to swallow because it is not cheap in the slightest, right? But I've been using it every day. It's encouraged me to journal every single day. It makes it a lot easier for my thoughts to just come out into a digital format that I can then look at on my phone. It gives me the option to literally plan out my videos, and then I've got it with me. I don't have a phone that's constantly notifying me of everything else. I can just purely have this as the thing that I use as my reference point, and I have it all the time just propped up here as I'm doing videos, and then I can just reference the notes that I've taken. But planning out my business and planning out all the things I want to do in the future, right? All my goals, like life plans, my shared vision with my partner. To have that in a condensed space that we can both see on an app, we can both jump in here and see what we're up to. My partner does like tarot and oracle readings, so she writes down, all of the readings in here, and then she can tick them off as she goes and highlights it to say I've completed that. It's just great for that kind of workflow. It's so great. You can do it with paper, of course, but then it just feels so different. It's more detached in the sense that you've just got lots of paper that you're constantly going between in a book. Maybe you've got multiple journals just sitting in a cupboard that you haven't even touched in years. I love the fact that it's all condensed. It's all in the one place. And let's be real, it is such an awesome writing experience. Like, I am loving writing on it. It's actually reinvigorated my love for writing. My handwriting has improved again. It's one of those things that a lot of us are detached from. We're always on our phones constantly, but to be able to write again is so lovely. And the fact that it's getting me back into a distraction-free headspace. I feel like thoughts are clearer when I'm writing, and I'm just so much more present, so much more in tune to the process when I'm using the Paper Pro. So for all of that, it's worth it for me. I'm still using it every single day and I love it, but it's hard. It's a hard recommendation for people. Like, if you're not writing, it's a really hard recommendation to give you, right? Not a cheap device, and it might not be for everyone. I feel like it depends on who you are and what you do. Like, if you're in the business space, right? Let's say you're developing out a business, or, even for me, like, I'm a therapist, so I don't even use it in this context. But if you are a therapist and you want to take notes in the middle of the session, great space to do something like that. If you want to plan out business stuff, if you're in the corporate world and you just want to write during meetings, or you're studying, for example, you want to write out and then you can convert to text and send it to your laptop or whatever. Great for stuff like that. It's a great additional kit depending on your lifestyle. So I think in that context, phenomenal and well worth looking into. But again, the price point's a hard one to justify to a lot of people when you could literally buy yourself a laptop for a similar price, right? So for me, it's a great addition. I'm loving it. And it is like such an amazing true writing experience. It feels like you're writing on paper, and all the colors, the battery life, the screen, all those new additions are great, and they're going to keep adding to it throughout its life cycle. So that's something I really like about reMarkable. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'd love your thoughts. I'd love to know if you've got one, if you've got the previous version, if you have the reMarkable 2 or maybe another one, or any other e-ink tablet. Let me know what your experiences have been like. This is something brand new to me, and I've really just dived in headfirst into the elite top end. But I'd love to know how you guys are using yours. Like, what do you use it for? How does it make its way into your workflow? Let me know, and thank you so much for watching, everyone. I will chat to you in the next one. Peace.